So just another minute or two while everyone finds their spot. Hello, everyone. Thank you for that. Welcome back. It seems like it's been a long time since we had, an extra Sunday in January, but here we are again. Welcome back. Today, we are going to have a presentation from Tony Orozco. Tony Orozco founded a parenting organization in 2010 with his wife. He holds a BS in Human Services with an emphasis on counseling and has over 20 years of public speaking. Tony and Lizeth, his wife, have been married since 2000, and they have 4 children themselves. Their parenting organization is called Discipline, I'm going to say it wrong. Disciplina, thank you. Positiva, parenting workshops. They are parenting workshops, and they're offered by professional certified positive discipline educators who empower parents with effective and positive tools through experiential activities. So I'm very excited to welcome Tony here to St. Killian.
Thank you. Thank you, Nick. Well, good afternoon. First of all, congratulations. This is such a beautiful church and such a beautiful people too. I'm going to start by asking, how many children do you have? Raise your hand whoever have one child. One. Are you done or not yet?
We're done.
Oh, you're done. Okay. 2. Are you guys done or not yet? Done. That's it. 3. Wow. Okay. Done? Not yet? Done. I think so. Not yet. Okay. 4. There you go. Welcome to the club. We're 4 too. More than 4. Of course, right there. Congratulations. How many? 7, and you're not done, right? We're done. Okay, perfect. So, question for you guys. When was it easier to raise kids, back in the days or today? Harder. Raise kids back in the days or today? When you were a child, when was it harder? Back in the days, raise your hand. Today, raise your hand. You know what? I agree with you. The ones who raise their hand, today is harder. And let me tell you why. Back in the days, how many of you had cell phones? Raise your hand. Look around. 1, 2. How many of you had internet as kids? As kids. There were no internet. Nothing. So nowadays, we get to find our kids, teenagers, that's a struggle, right? Back in the days, we used to eat I don't know about you, but I was raised in Mexico. And I remember eating on the table at least twice a day, morning and evening. How many of you did that when you guys were children? Look around. Nowadays, guess how many times families are sitting on the table, everybody at once, according to statistics? 1. A week. Sounds weird, but it's happening. So back in the days, how many of you knew your neighbors? Raise your hand. Nowadays, it's harder and harder to get to know. I remember back in the days, my parents would yell at me, Tony, get inside. Now parents are like, go outside and play, right? So it's changing everything. And that's why it's challenging right now. Back in the days, you didn't have to go to school, workshops, or anything to raise a child. Society was on the same page. You don't like it, you eat it. That's it. It was more straightforward. When I was raised, even teachers used to hit the students. How many of you had that experience with teachers? Okay, look around. There's some of them. Nowadays, teachers can hit the children? Yes. But they're going to go to court. And then you're going to get some money. They can't. It's different now. So why am I telling you this? Because today we're going to be talking about the joy and the struggles of parenting. Because a lot of parents nowadays, it's like a burden having children. Oh my gosh, I can't handle it anymore. You know why? Because the goal has changed. Not only in the parents, but also in the children. Back in the days, I remember children, teenagers, their goal was about, I want to be a teacher, I want to be a doctor, I want to be an engineer. And guess now what their goals are? YouTuber, influencer, social media influencer. Mom, this guy, 17 years old, making $50,000 a month. So that's what they're aiming for. And probably not your kids or teenagers, but that's what society, it's happening right now. So nowadays, I always remember, we have 4 children. And we are done too, or I don't know. Are we done? Yeah, we're done. So we have 4 kids. We have 2 teenagers, 1 preteen, and 1 child. And every time I have to remember myself that I only have 18 seasons, 18 summers, 18 springs. And for my oldest, she's 15, I only have 3 summers with her. Then she'll become an adult. And so I have 3 years, 3 summers to impact her life. See, when they're children, we are the main influencers. My mom, my dad knows everything. She's my hero. But nowadays, because so much they watch, we used to be like from 1 to 10, when they're 5, 6, we're like in number 10, like connected, or I would say backwards. So number 1. So let's start from 1 to 10. So we're in the number 1 influencers in their lives. But then 7, we're in the number 3. And then 9, we're in the number 4. When they get to be teenagers, we're probably in the 9, 10. So who's in the middle? Who's in the middle? So if we are not the main influencers in their lives, what I'm saying is role models, and what I'm saying is nowadays, see, back in the days when I was born in Mexico, my parents didn't care much about school, homework. It was about work. I remember my dad, you know what, son? I want you to be a man. And to be a man, you have to be a provider. And if you work hard, everything is going to be easier. But work hard. I'm a Latino, so work hard. Use your body. But now I realize, you know what? Using your body is okay, but if you use your mind, education, it's even better. And then we get into this. We do a lot of parenting workshops in different districts. And a lot of parents, their focus is grades. A's. They get a B. What? A B? Or a C? Ooh, you're in trouble. Punishment, consequences. And people think that grades, it's the cause of being successful in life. There's something more. Emotional intelligence. There's something more. Spiritual. Character. Principles. That's what makes you happy in the long run. A lot of parents are, what do you want from, what's your goal for the future for your kids? I want them to be happy. Happy is not a goal. It's a result of something that you've been working on. But it has to do with inside out, not from outside in. So everything that comes from outside in, punishment, rewards, all that, it's from outside in. But when you affirm your child inside out, and instead of making them successful in life, that's a result. But if you change your goals, is my goal for my child is to go to God. Whatever they do, everything is in the name of God. We have 4 kids, and one of the things that I always tell my boys, I say, you know what, someday you get to be the dad, the husband, and your job is to carry your family back to God. And the way you live, in fact, yesterday I was with my teenager, 13-year-old boy, and we were walking, we were driving, and he goes, Dad, how do I know, or when am I going to be ready that I'm going to be making the right decisions? And I said, through mistakes. The more mistakes you make, the better you'll get. But see, when I grew up, you make a mistake, punishment, chancla, the sandal, cinturón, the belt, everything. So what did I do? I stopped making mistakes. I stopped learning. If we take mistakes as an opportunity to learn, instead of what you did is wrong, and then therefore you're going to be punished, consequences, and then you lose the moment of teaching. And today we're going to be talking a lot of what exactly, and then we've been married with my wife since 2000. And I grew up with different discipline. When we had Juliana, she was 3, 4. I knew what not to do with Juliana, the way I was raised. But I didn't know how. And back in the days, there was a nanny. How many people watched the nanny back in the days? So it was about timeout. You're 3 minutes. You're 4 minutes. And I'm like, sounds good. No physical punishment. I like it. So I would put Juliana 3 minutes. At the beginning, it was beautiful. She would sit down, and she would just be like this. And I'm like, oh, my God. Beautiful. But after 3, 4 times, she will get up. And I'm like, no, Juliana, 3 minutes. Remember, you're in 2.5. And after the 7th, I have to hold her. And I'm like, don't move. You're almost done. So I was there with her. But I didn't like it because she would. So the 3 minutes, it was punishment for me. I had to hold her. Don't move. But then one day, my wife, she was working, and then I was reading this book, Positive Discipline. And when she came, I'm like, oh my gosh, where did you get this book? At the library? It's wonderful. I started reading it, and I'm reading. And he goes, I'm wondering if there is like a website. There was a website. I'm wondering if there is training for this. There was a training. We went over to San Francisco to get trained, and then we come back. And then everybody needs to know this. I started giving conferences. And then I'm losing a lot of money on a hotel. So let's rent a place. We rent a place. We started giving a lot of workshops. And then people were like, why don't you go to schools? And then we're like, why don't you take us to schools? So we started doing that, and nowadays we created a corporation. We do parenting workshop in different public schools. In public schools, it's really hard to talk about God, but we're still doing it because I know that's the only way for kids to get to their goal. It's not about how much you accumulate; it's how much you let it go and be free. It's not what Jesus has been teaching. So today, we're going to ask you about how are you doing with your kids. Different places, different challenges. Might be that here in San Juan Capistrano, it's not the same thing as Anaheim. Might be that you guys don't have challenges, but let's see. Do you have challenges with your kids? Yes. Everybody. So what kind of challenge do you guys are having with your children? Anything. Obedience, okay? Disobedient. Okay, what else? Screen technology. What else? How many of you have problems like, for example, for them to go to bed or waking up in the morning? There you go. Getting up, going to sleep. What else? Eating. They don't want to eat. What else? Chores. Yes. What else? Listening. They don't listen. I called you 3 times. Really? Yes. Oh, got it. I thought it was like a fly flying around here. But it was you. Yes. They don't listen. Okay, so I think one more? Being destructive. Destructive, yes, okay. Or I said distracted or distracted. Oh, destructive. Okay. Now, I want you guys to see your children. Now, let's say they're 10, 20 years after. They're adults. They moved out, hopefully. So they're 30, 35. One day he calls you, Mom, Dad, we're going to pay you a visit this weekend. Really? Yeah, Saturday. Okay. So on Saturday, they knock on the door. You get to see your adult child. What do you want to see? What kind of life skills you want to see in that adult now? Independence. Respectful, responsible, kind. What do you want to see? Good manners, empathy, faith. Yes. Professionals with money. Why not? Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay. So thank you. Thank you. So let's put the big screen now, and then let's review this. Challenges and life skills. So this is what we call the parenting map. When we struggle constantly in challenges, we're going to call that point A. But point A is to take us to point B. What we call parenting roadmap. If I stay on the A, nothing will happen. You're always going to struggle with disobedience, with all that. You got to have the tools in order to bring them to point B. I usually give the example. Point A is not beautiful. It's like imagine having a bunch of bricks. They're all scattered. But you want to build a beautiful house. So you can't get rid of the bricks. You need them, right? That's the material that you need to have in order to build the house. A lot of people want to get rid of the bricks. Don't get rid of the bricks. You can use those bricks to build. So now that you know that that's material, to bring them to point A to B, what can you do about chores, for example? What tool would you use in order to make those bricks useful and build a beautiful house? What can you do? For them to bring them from point A to point B. Positive reinforcement. Make it fun. Modeling, structure, routines. So now you bring a tool, so that chore is no longer in point B. Now it's not longer in point A, it's now in point B. And then instead of now, what kind of life skill I have? Independent. Now I have responsible, kind, good manners, empathy. So I cannot get rid of that brick because I can use that. By knowing that, every time I confront with the challenges, from now on, you're going to get, oh yes, I have an opportunity to teach something. I need the bricks. I need the bricks. Connection with Jesus is the same thing. You know, sin, many times we don't know what sin is all about. But at the end of the day, sin is moving away from Jesus. That's what it is. You call it whatever you call it. In order to go back, it's just to apologize, forgive, and all that in order to get closer. Prayer, coming to Mass, all that. You get closer to Jesus, and then the less you'll sin. Same thing. You cannot get rid of the bricks, but you can build with the bricks without humiliating, without making them mad. This is God's plan for our parenting. Our job as parents is to take our kids, equip them with positive tools so they can keep on walking to Jesus, not to the world. Jesus. So, we have this. Can you read this, please? There's a microphone. Oh, you have it? This is from New Testament, Ephesians 6, from 1 to 4. We all know the first part, but many times we forget the last part. 4. Go ahead.
Children, be obedient to your parents in the Lord. That is what uprightness demands. The first commandment that has a promise attached to it is honor your father and your mother. And the promise is so that you may have long life and prosper in the land.
So that point, we all know. Hey, you got to obey me. I'm your dad. I'm your mom. We all know that. But listen to the 4 verse.
And parents, never drive your children to resentment, but bring them up with correction and advice inspired by the Lord.
Resentment, correction. We all heard the word discipline, and a lot of people think that discipline is about punishment, correction, consequences, but look, discipline comes from the Latin word discipulus, which means disciple. Disciple, it's a learner. So we have 12 disciples following Jesus, the master, the teacher, God. So all the 12 disciples were learners. So our kids are learners. Everything what we do is we teach them and they learn. So that's why modeling is the number one thing. How do you model? With principles, values, faith. That's the best way to discipline your kids. How you handle situations. They're watching you. They're watching us every moment when you're driving. And then somebody just, boom. And they're like, you're like, beep, beep. And the kids are watching. Obviously, you don't do that. But there's people that they do that. Or, for example, in the marriage, they're fighting. And arguing in the marriage, it's part of it. We all do that. But you got to argue with elegance. Not hurting the other people. Or if you hurt the other people, apologize. And our teenager, 15-year-old, when my wife and I were argue, she sits down next to us and they're like, because we hear, if you're going to argue, go to the bedroom. No, stay in front of them so they can learn how you fight, how you argue. How in the world are they going to learn later when they get married? Don't scream, don't yell, don't hurt the other person, but let them listen how you handle problems. As long as you don't hurt the other person or minimize the other person, but let them watch you. But remember, how do you argue? So, this is the positive discipline. Associations come from the Alfred Adler and then Rudolf Drakers in the 80s, Jen Nelson and Lindblad. So this is the principles that we base on. All behavior has a purpose. Belonging, self-worth, and importance, responsibility, the main goal of every human being. What's belonging? Kids need to know that I love, that they respect me. If a child, teenager belongs to the house, you have a point. If they have significance, how do they know if they have significance? Through responsibility. Because a lot of parents, like right now, the academics. Number one, academics. Get me A's, and I'll do the laundry, I'll cook for you. Don't. Those are called life skills. And the only place they can learn is where? In your house and my house. So, but not only that. When they have chores, responsibilities, at the end, they feel a sense of worth. I value. Remember back in the days, we all had responsibilities. I remember my friends, hey, let's go play basketball. I haven't finished. I haven't fed the pigs and the horses and the cows. We'll help you. Alrighty, let's do it. I wouldn't leave. Not because I was responsible, I was afraid of my dad. But then I become responsible. So, belonging, and then people constantly make decisions. Perception, interpretation, belief, and let me go deeper. Perceptions, what I see and what I hear. Every child, every day, all what they're doing is watching and hearing. So that's the perception. Then we have interpretation, the meaning that I give to that information. Okay, so whatever I hear and whatever what I see, then it becomes interpretation. That then becomes a belief, what I think of myself, others, and my world, and then the decision. Let me go back to the number one, perception. I see that in my house, my dad and mom, they're fighting. Or I see that my mom and dad constantly, they're screaming at me. I hear. Then interpretation. They don't love me. They don't want me here. Then comes the belief. I'm no good. I can't make it. And then comes the decision. When they're little problems. When they're bigger problems. And that's why the decisions we have now, teenagers, committing suicides like never before. I was in a Zoom class. And then I finished that class, and then the next one. And then the community liaison, representing the school, joined in 10 minutes before. She was shaking. What's going on? We just finished this class, and this kid, 14 years old, shoot himself in front of the class, Zoom. We've seen right now depression, anxiety. You heard this woman, 30 years old, she accomplished everything. Miss Universe, attorney, 30 years old. Why committing suicide? Because we got lost in this world and thinking that's my goal, I'm going to reach to that, and that's it. Oh my gosh, what are we teaching our kids? So, perception, I see all that. But let's change it. Perception. My parents respect me. They have limits. And then interpretation is, I feel love. And then the belief is, I value, I'm important. And the decision is, all of a sudden, grades, behavior start changing. Because everything starts from perception. What are we doing every single day to impact their lives, self? And then we have sense of community and social interest. We all humans want to belong. We want to be part of something. And then that's why church, community. If you're part of a community, if you're part of a sport, and then social interest, all that is belonging. I belong. Many people think, back in the days, especially in my culture, you know what? My dad, especially if they're dead, I want to thank my dad, because he was so good. He hit me, he yelled at me, but thanks to that, today I'm responsible, honest, and I'm like, it's not because of that. Back in the day, it was a sense of belonging. We would eat together. We would know our neighbors. We would go to church every Sunday. We would work together. Everything was sense of community and social interest. Nowadays, so much individuality. It's crazy. That's why we're going through so much. So anxiety, depression, so much. So horizontal relationship. Back in the days, it was vertical. Dad, kids, men, wife, rich, poor. So it was the horizontal. I'm the one in charge, you obey me. We want to have horizontal. What's horizontal? We value the same, keeping the roles that we have. I'm the dad. I want to be your friend. No. Friendship is okay. You're always going to be the dad and the mom. We can create a relationship. We respect each other. We have the same value because God created us the same. So that's respect, mutual respect. People, back in the day, there was respect. No, it was fear. I grew up being afraid of my dad and my mom. So as an adult, I was so fearful through so many things. Horizontal is I tell my kids, we all have responsibilities. And the reason you're doing this is because someday you get to be a woman, a man. And then you get to handle all this, what I'm doing right now. That's why this is what you need to do, and this is what you need to do. So what happens if they don't do it? And then I go back. Instead of punishing consequences, I want to hear you. I forgot. It's okay. It's a mistake. Tell me a plan. What are you going to do so this thing will not happen again? Let's brainstorm. I want to teach them so they can learn from mistakes. And then, okay, but I'm going to show you later on the very strong words, but I want to talk to you about kind and firm. Kind and firm at the same time. I'm not getting used to this thing. So, kindness. What's kindness? Compassion, gentleness, patience, empathy, love, and understanding. What is not kindness? Permissiveness. And that's rescuing them from responsibilities, enabling parenting, doing too much for them, giving them too much, lack of rules and limits, overprotecting. Overprotecting, it's an abuse. Because when you are overprotecting them, rescuing them, you're telling them, I don't trust you. You're not capable. Therefore, I'm going to do it for you. It's not the same kindness with permissiveness. Or it's not the same firmness with authoritarian. What's firmness? Humbleness, encouragement, consistency, limits, and power, building character, appreciative. What is not firmness? Aggressiveness, strictness, physical abuse, verbal abuse, violence, inflexibility, silent treatment. That's not authoritarian. And let's do some math. Firmness minus kindness equal responsibility, but with low self-esteem. That's how I was brought up. There was a lot of firmness, no kindness. No hugs, no I love you, no nothing. It was just do it, do it, do it, do it. No kindness. Yes, I grew up to be responsible with a very low self-esteem. Now, we have the other one. A lot of kindness minus firmness. And what do you get? Entitlement and irresponsibility. And that's what we're living right now. See that picture? What do you see in that picture? Shh! Your sister is sleeping. If she wakes up, she's going to yell at us. We're afraid of our kids nowadays. Isn't it? And a lot of parents, I want my kids to be happy. Don't say that. Because if they hear you, they're going to say, Mom, I'm bored. Oh my gosh, if my goal is for her or him to be happy, and he's bored, what do you want? What am I want? Where can I take you? So I want you to be happy. No. You ask, what can you do? You want my help to brainstorm. Because we're rescuing them. Entitlement. And then we have kindness plus firmness equal responsible and capable. And that's what we want. When you're kind, make sure you be firm. When you're firm, make sure to be kind at the same time. And all the time. Because sometimes we can be kind because we're happy and relaxed, but then stress takes over and then we're firm. Or marriage. We have one who's kind and then the other one who's firm. And this one who's firm, come on, honey, let me help you. Come on. You can do it. Let me shower you. Let me do this. And then the firmness, you got to let go. He's 9. Shh, stop. Let me help you. Forget it. So when somebody's firm, so he needs or she needs to compensate too much kindness. And when you see somebody's too firm, then the firmness needs to compensate because it's too firm. And so when dad or mom takes off, and then the firmness comes in, and I'm like, I'm sorry, daddy, honey, I'm sorry. Dad sometimes can be an animal. I'm so sorry. It's not your fault. I want you to, because I want to protect you. I want you to get, so we're compensating. So they get confused. Who's right, who's wrong? So they don't know. But when we know, it's okay for you to be kind. Most of the, if we most of you, one will be kind and then firm. And it's great because then we can help each other. When like in my marriage, I'm the kind and she's the firm. And it's good. None of them is bad. And I remember back in the days when one of my sons or daughter was 4, and in the morning, taking them to sleep, it was cold. Oh my gosh, I have to wake you up. It's so hard. Honey, would you please take care of her? I can't. It's too much for me. And she just go and, not screaming or yelling or anything. She can be firm. Or sometimes she can be, like sometimes we're stressed and she can handle it because her nature is firm. I need your help. So firm, I come the firm. And then, okay, let's talk about it. I'm calm. So we help each other instead of hurting each other or compete with each other. So encourage through affirmation, men motivator, inside out. Affirm them all the time. Did you know that you are the only person in the entire world? Did you know that you were created with God's hands? Did you know that? Did you know something, son, honey? That if you behave good or bad, I will always love you. When you make the right decisions, I'll be there for you. When you make the wrong decisions, I might get mad, sad, but I will always love you. Isn't that what Jesus is preaching? No matter what you do, I will always love you. Long-term education. Whatever you do, always think, whatever I'm going to do right now, how is this going to help them or damage long-term? Because we focus too much on cleaning the bedroom, thinking that the bedroom is going to be there forever. We care more about cleanliness than the dignity, respect of a child. And remember that we are the image of Jesus. Treat your child as you would like to others to be treated him or her. Always think that you respect that child, people will respect them. Disrespect that child, they'll get used to it. And they'll get into dysfunctional relationships. And I've seen it so many times. Parents call me and like, my son is in this relationship, this girl, or I remember this lady, she calls me, well, Tony, I need your help. My daughter, she's 16, she's in a terrible relationship. This guy scream at her. I mean, it's a total disaster. So I mentor her, and then the first question I said, tell me, what have you done? Everything. Tell me. Punishing, taking away, screaming, yelling, everything. Does it work? No. Okay, so tell me before what kind of discipline she grew up with. What do you mean? Yeah, how did you discipline? Like everybody else. How's everybody else? Well, when they behave good, I will give her something. When they behave bad, I will punish. Oh, okay. Talk to me about the dad. Oh, he's always working. So he's not around. No. So her self-esteem is low, and this is what happened. Imagine this. Her self-esteem is low. She's looking for somebody, same measurement. Nobody is going to be with somebody who's in this low self-esteem, because the ones that are here, they're with this. And the ones that are over here, they hang around with this. So self-esteem is basically affirming them who they are. So their self-esteem is right here with principles, values, and that's what they're going to choose. Friends, relationships, everything is related to that. So then what we're going to do is, let's bring her self-esteem up. How do we do that? You're going to write a letter. And you're going to start by apologizing for all the things. In the name of love, you did that. And then you're going to affirm her, how much you love her. When was the last time you hugged her? How? She's not behaving good. That's why she's behaving that way. It's like a plant. Imagine a plant like this, and you go to work. Don't you go back and grab a glass of water and you pour it into the... Why? Because she needs water. Your daughter needs love, and that's why she's with this relationship. It doesn't matter how he treats her, but he's giving her something that nobody's giving. And then, mistakes are opportunities to learn. The more mistakes they make, the more they learn. Each time they make a mistake, like a brick, let's say how we're going to build this. Don't let the opportunity, when you punish and give consequences, you lose the opportunity. That's like a revenge. I told you, therefore, here's the consequence. You lose the opportunity. Grab that mistake and let's build. Listen first. Don't assume. Listen. For example, you agree 1 hour in technology. It's been an hour and a half. And then we have beliefs too. Oh, if I let him like that, he's going to keep going like that. And then the grades is going to go down. And then the fears take over. And we have this voice, you got to do something. Take it away. So in that moment, relax. Tap on the shoulder. Honey. Oh, yeah. And then you go back, same thing. You don't go back. Just let him. One day, no problem. Later, after an hour, 2 hours, everything is settled. You connect, and then you talk. Honey, let's talk about what happened about our agreement. Yeah, I want to listen to you. Well, let me tell you, this is what happened. I know I was going to be from 4 to 5, but then a couple of my friends showed up at 4:45, and then we start playing. Got it. So it seems like they didn't know that you were from 4 to 5. Yes, okay. So what's your plan? Oh, I already told them that I'm from 4 to 5. So it seemed like you already find a solution. Yes. So we don't have problems about this. Yeah, got it. And then you affirm them. You know what, honey? Last week, you did that. And you respond positive. I believe in you. I trust you. And you affirm. Many times you told me that last time. And we look at what happened. You went over 3 hours. And you go for the negative instead of affirming the positive all the time. I have faith. I love you. And you finish with, I love you. How Jesus do it with us. Don't we go and, I'm sorry, Jesus. And what do they do? You're back. I love you no matter what. And we can see he was crucified. One of the healers, hey, if you're the God, save us. And then the other one, you shut up. You and me, there's a reason we're here. But this man, and he goes, Jesus, when you're in heaven, remember me. And Jesus, this is a rapist. This is a killer, assassin, the bad. They were crucified. Only the baddest of the baddest, they were crucified. And he goes, from this moment I tell you, you're going to spend life with me, with my Father, in the kingdom of my Father. He was able to forgive him. And us, we're so tough. Just for little mistakes, bam. And I have to do this. Someday, like my dad used to say, someday you're going to thank me. Really? I'm doing it because I love you. What? Hate me. Maybe it will be different. So this is firmness. This is kindness. And then creates this connection. What we want is kindness plus firmness equals connection. Nick, are you around? Oh, yeah, just asking. Until what time I have? 15 minutes more? Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. I can keep going. So, question, how's your parenting style? Firmness only? Kindness firmly? For only? Kindness and firmness at the same time? Just question yourself. So, let's do this exercise. It will take us about 10, 15 minutes. But I'm going to need some volunteers. I'm going to need the microphone. How to talk so children, teens will listen. So we're going to do positive discipline is about experiential activities. We want to put ourselves into our kids' shoes to see what they're thinking, feeling, and deciding. Remember we went over? So I want you guys today to take this step a little bit farther. So how many people are learning something tonight? Raise your hand. Okay. out of all those who raise your hand, I need 4 volunteers. Raise your hand. Just come up. We're going to do like a little role playing. Thank you. 1. Oh, 2. Come on. Coming up. Coming up. 2. 2 more. Before, yes, thank you. 1 more. 1. 1 more. 2. 1 more. Come on. Thank you. All right. So, come over here. So the 2 guys over here, and then girls over here. Girl power. Yeah, there you go. So you stand over here. First of all, who wants to be the kid, and who wants to be the dad?
I'll be the kid.
The kid. So you stay over here, and then dad over here.
All right.
So you're going to be looking at the screen.
Okay.
You don't have to look at the screen. Who wants to be the child? I can be the child over here, mom over here. Okay. So look at her, and then you're going to read something on the screen. Okay? I want you guys to put, so you guys what you guys going to do is switch. You guys going to switch each time. Okay? I'll tell you when. So we're going to start with this, and then, so you can experience mom, dad, how they think, how they feel, but especially what they're going to say. At the end, we'll process. Okay? Got it? So, yeah, I'm sorry?
Do you need this now or to process?
You know what? So they can listen here, and then I'll take it. Okay, so ready? So you're going to do the same thing at the same time. Okay, so I'm sorry. You're going to do, let's start with them, and then you. Okay? So you start on the left.
On the left.
Yes.
Take out the trash.
Process it as a child. Just think. As a child, feel as a child. Okay, excellent. So now you're going to do the right.
What time do you take out the trash? In 5 or 10 minutes?
Perfect. And then you, the second.
The second one?
On the left.
Oh,
You're
on the
always
left.
going to do the left.
I'll
Yes.
always do left.
Got it.
Okay, all right. Hey, go to sleep.
Love it. Go to the next.
What was the time we agreed to go to sleep tonight?
Excellent.
Hey, do your homework.
Okay, what is your plan to do your homework?
Okay.
Will you stop using technology?
Love it.
Are you still in the agreed time to use the technology?
Okay. Okay, so now let's process. Tell me, what are you thinking? First, tell me how you feel right now the way he treated you as a child.
Oh, as a child?
I feel
Probably being judgmental or being judged.
being judged, okay? What are you thinking about dad? My dad is
Very mean.
very mean. What decisions are you making of whatever he said? Doing it or not doing it?
Not doing it.
Yeah. So so we have the telling parent, and then we have now, dad, on your role, what are you thinking about your son? My son is,
Well, he's disobedient.
there you go. And that makes you feel
Disrespected.
disrespected. So what decision are you making?
I'm going to yell louder.
There you go. See that relationship? What's happening? This is the telling parent. So let's go to asking parent. How does that make you feel the way she treated you?
I've been bothered, but I'm not ready to do what she wants me to do.
Did she yell at you?
No,
Did she give you consequences?
no.
No. And how does that make you feel?
Like I can continue doing what I'm doing.
Okay. So what are you thinking about mom?
She's just consulting me if I want to do it, if the time. happens
Okay.
that I
So
can-
what I'm hearing from you is that he was just a kindness, too much kindness. Okay. So this is, remember, telling and asking. So let's go. So what are you still in agreed technology? Are you still in the agreed time in the use of technology? What would you say? What was the agreement?
I don't know.
Yes, you do. She talked to you before. That's why he's asking.
But
Hour, 30 minutes, how much? What was the agreement?
5 minutes.
5 minutes, which it was too little. 5 minutes, okay. So 5 minutes, okay. So she's asking you, are you still on the agreed time? Yes or no?
Yes.
Well, she's asking you because you're not. Otherwise, she wouldn't ask, right?
Right.
So now you are probably in the 8th minute.
Probably 15 minutes.
15 minutes. So what would you say? Are you still on the agreed time? Yes or no?
I guess no.
No, it's not guess. No. So then she's gonna follow through. She's gonna so you want 2 or 3 minutes more?
Can I have 5 more?
2 or 3?
3.
Thank you. That's firmness. So then 3 minutes pass by because see, this is what happens with technology. Your brain, it gets so stimulated because this is not the time to discipline. Stop the technology. Either I take it away, you put it away. This is not the time to discipline because the brain, it's flipped. So we have 3 brains in one, the neurocortex, the limbic, and the primitive brain. So when they're in technology, the thinking brain is not there. Everything is about fun, excitement, and you get there to preach, to lecture. Stop. So now 2 minutes pass by. And she's still in technology. So it's the beginning. And then you're like, you put it away or you want me to put it away?
I'll put it away.
Thank you. And then a minute, 30 minutes, let the brain goes back again. And then, honey, let's talk about our agreement. That's firmness. You're being kind and firmness, following up. See the difference?
So I would say the asking this is assuming you've had a conversation before
Exactly.
about
The time.
about what the plan is. Then you're asking the questions, and then afterwards you have to have consequences for whether they're not, like if you're asking me for 3 more minutes.
But why would you put consequences?
So, for example, if I come back after 3 minutes and she's still not off the device, so then do I say, okay, are you still in the agreed upon time? And she says, no, I want 2 more minutes. Then the consequence would be like, no.
That's not consequence. You're training them. Consequence is not training. You follow through and like, okay, you put it away or I put it away. Those are optional questions. And they're like, I put it away. There, got it. 30 minutes after, let's talk about it. That's why we have 18 seasons, to train them to be independent, because later they're going to need somebody to tell them what to do. So you want them to be independent to the point where they can handle it. Right now, how old are you right now, kid?
5.
5. What do you expect? The brain is fully developed until the age of 25. So you're talking about 5 to be like an adult? It's crazy. So we got to be patient. But see, to require asking, it requires self-care. Telling parent, you don't have to have self-care. To ask is, even though I don't like it, even though whatever, I have to breathe, pray, exercise, have a life, and then you train. See what I'm saying? So what are you thinking about your kid? My kid is?
I'm still on the fence. So I feel a little like I'm asking their permission.
No, you're not asking. Remember, you are training. This is not about you. Don't make it about you. You're training your kid. God is giving you this kid so they can be trained. It's not about what I want. It's about what's best for them. And you're like giving options. And then they're like, hey, for a minute, you follow up. And that's where the training comes. So let's learn. What did you learn, honey? What can we do next time? And you have 18 seasons. Keep training. And let me share this word. It's not even here, but connection before correction. when she's not doing what you're telling, she's asking, Mom, you've been working the whole day. You've been running, cleaning. I need you. And that's the way they ask for attention. Gary Chapman, the author of The 5 Love Languages, he said, bad attention is better than zero attention. So they will get you. Bad attention is better than they ignore you. So they will stay there. All what they're saying is, Mommy, I need you. Let's play. Let's hang around. Let's do something. But don't take it about, you know what I mean now? Sort of. But this is just today. Yeah. Okay, so how does that make you feel that you are able to not scream, not yell, but able to talk to your child?
I prefer the parameters and asking them questions about whether they are being the judge of being, like I like them being responsible for their own choices within the parameters you've given them. I like that.
Yeah, and that's why you're training her.
Yeah.
God gave you that permission to train her. But remember, she's 5. I'm sorry, Nick. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Let's give her applause. Thank you very much. And I'm sorry you have a question. I'm sorry. Yes, we're done. Okay, here it is, connection. I'm sorry. So I'll be hanging around, so if you have any questions. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you, Nick.
Thank you, Tony. Just a couple of announcements. First things first, it was Scout Sunday, for those of you who didn't realize. I have a little Scout interest form right here, if for any reason you're interested in that. We have a Cub Scout troop that's based out of here, or pack, excuse me, and then actually a Boy Scout group that's based out of here as well. So if you're interested in that sort of thing, we can get you connected up with them. Next class is March 6th, and also a class on April 3rd. Ash Wednesday, there is a prayer service for families, and it's from 4 to 4:45. Ash Wednesday is on March 2nd if you're interested in that. And the last thing, we've been getting feedback about the envelopes that you guys take home. Some families love them. Some families are still kind of confused by them. Just know that if you are starting a conversation about faith and about God in your house, then guess what? You're doing it correctly. If you have more questions about them, Cindy is available for those questions. I can be available for those questions about any sort of questions they might even bring up from your kids. Those are things we could totally help you with. But the point is that the conversation starts at home. I had a guy talk to me about how he's like, oh my gosh, you guys only meet once a month. I went to catechism every Saturday with Sister So-and-so. And I was like, yes, but is that why you're Catholic now? And I think the answer is no. I think the answer is because when he went home, his parents followed up with the things that he learned about. And so that's what we're trying to do here. And so just know that if the conversation is beginning in your house, that is our whole and entire goal. And that is the best way for the kids to learn about faith. Okay? So we will see you next time.
Before you go, in case you guys want to be part of, we do a lot of parenting workshops. Some schools, they allow other parents to join through Zoom. If you guys want me to share some links when we are in different districts in English, obviously we do it in Spanish and English, but especially in English, you get that barcode. There's a WhatsApp group just for your church, and I'll share that link in case you guys want to be part of that. And we have a parenting workshop, also a website there in case you want to know more about ourselves. So here it is, the code. I'm sorry. Thank you.